Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Raw Politics coming to you from Kodera Forest. Actually, I'm on the road that comes from Kodera Forest. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been in Kasepul for a while, talking to people here after the by-election. Of course, opinion is divided as usual. There are those who believe that the independent candidate would have won, that the poll was stolen. That is expected in a fiercely contested seat, the way Kasipul was. But there is something that was very common from people. They were saying that it appears that Gladys Wanga is trying to cement her authority, and not just that, she looks like she wants to plant candidates across Homabay. Yes, plant candidates across Homabay constituencies. And this might not augur well with people. So I decided to do this video. And in this video, ladies and gentlemen, I want to just tell you what I think should be Gladys Wanga's priorities. Before we move into what her priorities should be politically, I want to tell you that this is some lady who has achieved so much for herself at her age. Remember, Gladys Wanga joined politics around 2013. And in that 2013, Gladys Wanga won to be the woman rep of Homabay, the first woman rep for Homabay. She served for 2 terms, after which she went for the gubernatorial race in 2022, which she also won. Whether there were complaints of riggings and etc., Gladys Wanga is serving. And in a democracy, there will always be complaints. People will not agree that you won. Even if you did win fairly, there are people who are still going to say, no, you didn't win. And so it will be a difficult thing altogether. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I was trying to say is that this is a lady who has achieved a lot for herself. Remember, she's also the national chair of ODM. And there are people who don't understand how important her position is. Remember, in ODM, according to their structure, you can go and check organogram, you can go and check. The party leader and the chairperson of the party are the topmost officials of the party. That is where the top decision-making organ of the party constitutes, they call it the supreme leadership, constitutes the chairperson and the party leader. Currently, Gladys Wanga is the chairperson of ODM party, and as you know, Oburu Odinga is the party leader. That puts her in a very influential position. But then why did I say that Gladys Wanga should pick her wars and focus on certain things? This is how I'll approach this video, ladies and gentlemen. I've already told you how influential Gladys Wanga is, courtesy of her political position as the chair of ODM, and also the fact that she is the governor for Homabay, the first woman governor in Luo Nyanza, and also very aggressive. And she won a by-election in a very toughly contested vote in Kasipul. Gladys Wanga has 3 battles that matter most to her political future. Number 1, there is a real threat within ODM to get rid of her. Remember when Rigathi Gachagwa's man, Mutai Kahiga, made that unfortunate comment about Raila's death, Gladys Wanga was in Kisumu, called a press conference, and in that press conference, ladies and gentlemen, she made it clear that any person who associates with Rigathi Gachagua was the enemy of the Luo people. So she drew a line in the sand, and this really under very ugly monikers from, of course, the United Opposition, and they felt like Gladys Wanga was the worst person. You've seen her being trolled online. And combine that with the fact that there are elements within ODM who do not want her to be the party leader, that, in my opinion, is war enough to focus on. Because if these people succeeded to remove her from that position, which is not easy, but let's say they did succeed, it will complicate things for our friend Gladys Wanga. So she should be focusing on ensuring that she retains her position, because that gives her almost a final say in the affairs of ODM as a party. The second war that Gladys Wanga has to actually fight is the war of broad-based. remember Gladys Wanga being one of the people who are close to Raila Odinga and who has been focused on promoting broad-based agenda in Luo Nyanza, she is being fought even by fellow Luos, those who are opposed to the broad-based. She is being seen as the voice of the broad-based government in Luo Nyanza, especially from the ODM side. And there are people within Luo Nyanza who do not like that because they are sympathetic either to Rigathi Gachagua or do not just want to work with Ruto in any way. So that is something Gladys Wanga should focus on and ensure that the message of broad-based government or fighting for William Ruto in the ground here is her key priority, because it will have also advantages. But if she was to be cornered by these anti-broad-based agents and they succeed, then her political value to maybe William Ruto might go really down. The third thing that Gladys Wanga, in my opinion, should focus on is how to get re-elected. You see, she has a very difficult re-election for governor. Remember, she became governor courtesy of a compromise. One candidate who was compromised, who would have threatened her and ensured that she never became governor, is none other than Oyugi Magwanga, who is her deputy. But I think for some funny reason or some very funny advice, somebody told her that the first person to fight and tame is none other than that Oyugi Magwanga. And I don't feel like that is what she should have done. But she was persuaded that is what she needed to do. So she began fighting this man, I'm told, almost immediately. And of late, she's even locking the man's office and complicating things, considering that the man, Yugi Magwanga, even had to now support the candidate who was vying on independent ticket, that is Aroko. This even complicated matters because Gladys Wanga now went ahead and locked the door so that this guy cannot get office. I was thinking getting re-elected is supposed to be a priority for Gladys Wanga. So in my opinion, Gladys Wanga should focus on three things. Ladies and gentlemen, like I've told you, one, ensure that she retains the chairmanships. There are people who are fighting her and are very serious. They want changes in ODM, and those changes include removal of Gladys Wanga as the chair of ODM. Then you have two, the second thing that Gladys Wanga needs to focus on is ensuring that her position as the spokesperson for broad-based government, especially in South Nyanza, or especially within ODM as a party, is not compromised, is not challenged, is not being seen as useless, so to say. And of course, the third is to focus on getting re-elected. So if you asked me, what would I do? What would be the best political move for me if I was Gladys Wanga? There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those three things are what I would have focused on. On the issue of whether I should focus on being the deputy president or running mate, that becomes very tricky, considering you saw what happened in Mbere. It means that Mount Kenya is still 50-50. So William Ruto might not be very, very, very interested in having to change or antagonize the region by removing the position of the DP. But that is one day in politics is a very long day. You cannot be so sure. That might change, and William Ruto might decide that he's going to pick his deputy or running mate from Luo Nyanza. But I was just saying it's not something that Gladys Wanga should be obsessed with now, or doing things towards getting that, because it's not a position that currently, as we speak, is vacant. Kithure Kindiki is there, and he has also proven himself just in his background. You never know. They might even win seats in the other part of Mount Kenya, that is Mount Kenya West. So that is a vote-rich region, and antagonizing them, especially when there is evidence that they can at least do something, is unnecessary. Trying to maybe impress and position ourselves as the running mate, as Ruto's running mate come 2027. Also, I said at the initial stage that, in my opinion, Gladys Wanga should also not focus on unnecessary wars, fighting with with civil servants, those who are close to William Ruto, those who she found working with Ruto in UDA is unnecessary. So in short, this video is divided into two: what I would focus on if I was Gladys Wanga, and what I would not focus on if I was the governor of Homabay, that is the same Gladys Wanga. That is what I wanted to share with you. Like I said, I'm recording on the go. I'm in Homabay, Kasipul to be specific. The weather is very interesting, a little bit hot, but of course still windy, thanks to the forest. If you found value in this video, let me know in the comment section. And of course, if the quality is acceptable, also let me know. If it is not, also just let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, in case you missed my video where I explained why Rigathi Gachagua is the weakest link in the so-called united opposition, you can watch it here.